In 2024, a 78-year-old retired mail carrier in Detroit lost his house, not to a lender, not to a fraudster, to the county. He fell behind on property taxes by $3,200 after his wife died. The county took the property, sold it at auction for $91,000, and kept every dollar. He received nothing, and the paperwork that would have prevented all of it was sitting on his county's website for free. He never knew it existed. That is what this video covers. If you own your house and you are over 60, there are 5 documents that stand between you and losing everything you spent your lifetime paying for. Most of them cost nothing. Most of them take less than an hour, and the reality that nobody has informed you about them until right now should make you furious. I am going to guide you through all 5, explain exactly what each one shields you from, and tell you where to find them. But first, you need to understand why your paid-off house makes you the easiest target on your street. This video is for informational purposes only and is not tax or financial guidance. Consult a qualified professional before making any decisions about your specific situation. Here's what most retirees do not understand. The moment you make that final mortgage payment, your property disappears from the bank's watch list. No lender monitoring the title. No institution checking whether someone recorded something against your property. You celebrate paying it off, but what actually happened is you removed the only set of eyes guarding your deed. Anyone can search your county's public records and find your name, your address, and whether there is a mortgage on the property. When they see there is no lien, they know 2 things. You have equity and nobody is watching. That is why fraudsters, creditors, and even the government target free and clear properties owned by people over 60. Let me begin with the document that shields you from the threat most retirees have never even considered. Document number 1, the Homestead Declaration. A Homestead Declaration is a 1-page form you file at your county recorder's office that activates your state's legal protection over your primary residence equity. Once filed, state law shields a specific dollar amount of your home equity from most unsecured creditors, medical debt collectors, civil lawsuit judgments, credit card companies with a court order against you. None of them can force a sale of your property to collect. That equity becomes legally untouchable. The protection differs wildly by state. Florida and Texas offer unlimited protection. Your property could be worth $2 million, and creditors cannot touch a cent. California protects between $361,000 and $722,000, depending on your county. Massachusetts protects $1 million for homeowners over 62. Nevada protects $605,000. But here's the essential part. In most states, this protection does not activate automatically. You have to file the form. If you never file it, you get 0 protection, even if your state would have shielded $500,000. 1-page notarized filed at your county recorder's office. Free in most states, 30 minutes. When affluent families buy a home, their attorney files this before they leave the title company. It is automatic. For the typical retiree, nobody ever mentions it exists. 2 things it does not shield you from: mortgage foreclosure and the IRS. I will address the IRS specifically in a moment because that is where most retirees get caught off guard. Document number 2, the property fraud alert. This is the one that makes people genuinely upset when they discover it. Here's how property fraud actually works. A fraudster goes online and searches public records for free and clear properties. It takes about 30 seconds. They look for older owners, ideally people living alone. Then they forge a deed. They walk that forged deed into the county recorder's office and file it. And in most counties across America, documents are filed first and verified. Never. The county accepts it because there is no system in place to question it. Once that forged deed is on file, the fraudster either takes out a hard money loan against your property or tries to sell it outright. By the time you discover they have already borrowed against your equity or transferred your deed to a stranger, and now you are spending $5,000, $10,000, sometimes $40,000 in legal fees, proving that you still own your own house. In Clark County, a retired school teacher had this exact situation happen. Someone forged a deed, walked it in, and the county accepted it. By the time she proved she still owned her property, she was $4,000 deep in legal fees. The program that would have detected it in 24 hours was free the entire time. Most counties now offer a free property fraud alert. Go to your county's website, search property fraud alert, enter your name and property information, and you are done. 5 minutes, 0 cost. From that point on, you get an email within 24 hours. Anytime anyone records anything against your property, a deed, a lien, a transfer, anything, your county knows you own your property. They have never once informed you this program exists. Go register today. 5 minutes, $0. Document number 3, enhanced title insurance. When you purchased your home, the title company handed you a standard title insurance policy at closing. Most homeowners signed whatever was put in front of them without knowing that other options existed. A standard title insurance policy only looks backward. It covers defects that existed before you purchased the house, forgery that happened before closing, hidden liens from a previous owner, title errors that predated your purchase. That is it. If someone forges a deed on your property next year or 5 years from now or 20 years from now, your standard title insurance does not cover it. You are completely on your own. An enhanced owner's title policy looks forward. It covers forgery of documents after your closing date. Identity theft transfers fraudulent deed conveyances that happen in the future, and in most cases, it covers the legal fees to contest it, which can easily run $20,000 to $40,000 or more. This one is not free. It costs money to upgrade. But here's the question you should ask your title company this week. Call them and say these exact words. Is my current policy standard or enhanced? If it is standard, what is the upgrade cost? One phone call, 5 minutes. And if the answer saves you $40,000 in legal expenses down the road, that was the best phone call you ever made. Now, I need to pause here and discuss the thing that most people creating videos about home protection conveniently skip over: the IRS. If you owe the IRS money, a federal tax lien overrides almost everything I have discussed so far. The Homestead Declaration does not shield you from the IRS. Your title insurance does not shield you from the IRS. A federal tax lien is a legal claim the government places against everything you own, including your home, when you owe taxes and do not pay after receiving a bill. For retirees, this happens more often than you would think. You do a Roth conversion and forget to set aside money for the tax bill. You receive a lump sum Social Security back payment that pushes you into a higher bracket. You miss an estimated quarterly payment because you did not realize your pension and Social Security combined made you liable for estimated taxes. The IRS sends a notice. You do not open the letter because it looks like junk mail. 6 months later, there is a lien on your home. In 2025, the IRS issued over 760,000 levies. That includes bank accounts, wages, and Social Security benefits. And federal tax liens were filed on hundreds of thousands of properties. Retirees on fixed incomes are hit hardest because they often do not have the cash flow to pay an unexpected tax bill quickly, and the penalties and interest compound fast. Here is what you need to do. Open every single letter from the IRS. Everyone, if you owe money, set up an installment agreement immediately. The IRS has an online tool where you can set up a payment plan yourself without even calling them. Once you are on a payment plan, the IRS is required to stop escalating collection actions as long as you are making your payments. If you already have a federal tax lien on your property, speak to a tax professional about getting it released or subordinated. There are formal processes for both. The foundation underneath every other document in this video is staying current on your taxes. If the IRS comes for your property, nothing else matters. No Homestead Declaration, no fraud alert, no title insurance will stop them. Stay current. Open your mail. That is the foundation. Document number 4, the Revocable Living Trust. This one serves two purposes that work together. First, it makes your property harder for fraudsters to find and target. Second, it keeps your home out of probate when you pass away. When your property is titled in your personal name, anyone can search public records and find it. Fraudsters do this constantly. They search for elderly homeowners with free and clear properties, and your name pops right up. When your property is held in a revocable living trust, your personal name does not appear as the direct owner. The trust name appears instead. You still own the property. You still live in it. You still control everything. Nothing changes in your daily life. But when a fraudster does a quick public record search looking for easy targets, your name does not come up. They move on to someone else. The second benefit kicks in after you pass. Without a trust, your property goes through probate. That is a public court process that costs 3 to 5% of your estate value. On a $500,000 home, that is up to $25,000. With a trust, the transfer is private, immediate, and avoids probate entirely. Cost to set up is $1,000 to $3,000. The math is obvious. One warning: a revocable living trust does not shield your assets from creditors during your lifetime. That is what the Homestead Declaration does. You need both. And if you already have a trust, make sure your property is actually titled in the trust's name. I have seen this dozens of times. A retiree pays an attorney, puts the document in a drawer, and never transfers the deed. The trust only works if the property is in it. One more thing: many states have their own inheritance taxes with much lower thresholds than the federal exemption. Pennsylvania charges 4.5% starting at $1. No exemption. Everything you leave gets taxed. A properly structured trust can reduce or eliminate that state-level bill. Document number 5, the Property Tax Exemption for Seniors. This is the document that the man in Detroit never knew about, and it is the one that could have saved his property. Almost every state in America offers a property tax reduction for homeowners over 60 or 65. In Texas, the over 65 exemption reduces your taxable value by up to $200,000 and freezes your school district taxes permanently. Florida freezes your entire property tax assessment. Georgia exempts school taxes completely for homeowners over 62. New York expanded its senior exemption in 2026 to reduce assessed value by up to 65%. These exemptions are not automatic. You have to apply. In many states, the deadline for 2026 is April 30th. That is weeks away. If you have been paying full property taxes since you turned 65 and never applied, you have been overpaying every single year. Call your county assessor this week. Ask what senior exemptions you qualify for and what the deadline is. That one call could save you thousands a year for the rest of your life. And here is the connection. When your property tax bill is lower, you are far less likely to fall behind. That retired mail carrier in Detroit did not lose his property because he was irresponsible. He lost it because his wife died. His income dropped, and a $3,000 tax bill became impossible on a fixed income. If he had applied for the senior exemption years earlier, that shortfall might never have happened. The Supreme Court ruled in 2023 that counties cannot keep surplus equity from tax sales, but that ruling only helps after the damage is done. The 5 documents I just provided you stop the damage before it starts. Let me bring it all together. Here is your checklist. 1. File a Homestead Declaration at your county recorder's office. Protects your equity from unsecured creditors. Free in most states. 30 minutes. 2. Sign up for property fraud alerts on your county's website. Notifies you within 24 hours if anyone files anything against your property. Free 5 minutes. 3. Call your title company and ask if your policy is standard or enhanced. If it is standard, ask about upgrading. 1 phone call. 4. Set up a revocable living trust and make sure your property is titled in the trust's name. Avoids probate. Adds privacy, safeguards your heirs. $1,000 to $3,000. 5. Apply for your state's senior property tax exemption before the deadline. Reduces your annual tax bill permanently. 1 phone call to your county assessor. 5 documents, 1 afternoon. Every single one of them exists right now. None of them are secret. The only reason you do not have them is that nobody in your life had any financial incentive to tell you about them. Your real estate agent got paid when you bought the house. Your bank got paid when you took the mortgage. Your county gets paid when you pay your taxes. Nobody gets paid when you protect yourself. That is why it is on you. And now you know exactly what to